Hey guys, so I know I mentioned being more regular with my videos, so I apologize for those people who have actually been waiting for them. The truth is that I have been suffering from adult acne for a while, and so I was kind of feeling a little apprehensive and insecure or whatever for a while, which kind of made me not want to record them. And the ones that I did record, I didn't like the way they came out, etc. And so, you have all of your insecurities that seem to like surface in those moments. But at any rate, I just think it's all just a complete waste of time and attack from the enemy. And so I'm back. Thank God my skin is clear. But even if it wasn't clear, I just think the time is now. There is so much going on in the world, you guys. Like, oh my God, I'm often just so overwhelmed at where we are as a society, as a culture. I can't even begin to talk about what goes on in my head because I'm crazy. But I am going to take the time to kind of address the small issue, huge issues, but within their own video context, because I want to make sure that I'm thorough about it. But anyway, so I'm recording this particular video because I do recognize that life is real. Okay? Like, we're all human. So we all have to deal with the turbulence of life. And it's a real thing, you know. So many of us have been hurt. All of us have been hurt in some way by our people, by our loved ones, by our coworkers in the professional world. It's something you can't escape. And I feel like I've been meeting so many incredible people lately who have just been going through so much, and it's almost like they hide. They're hiding. They're in hiding. And they're not asking for help, one, because either they're embarrassed or they don't really feel like their feelings or their struggle is valid, right? Like, no one really wants to be a victim. So instead of boring people with our problems, you go into hiding. And I was at church on Sunday, and this really resonated with me because the pastor said, quit hiding. Just simple as that. Just very, very simple. And it really spoke to me because I recognize that I am that person. Like, I am definitely the person that isolates themselves when they go through things. I can remember so many times, throughout my walk, or people, of faith would try to connect with me, and life groups, and let's go for coffee, or let me, be a support to you. And I just had no desire to connect with certain people, partly because, like, I just think I'm cool. So, like, I don't really want to connect with people who I feel like aren't cool, or they might be weird, or, I don't know. And it's a problem, obviously. Like, I recognize that it's a problem. But I think that's how a lot of us think, whether or not that's the mentality behind it or not. It's, you rather suffer in silence, and you rather suffer in isolation versus, actually having people that you can be broken with. And I think it's so important to have people that you can be broken with, certain people that you really trust, that no matter what happens, you're not going to love me any different once I share this. Or, I know I said that last week, but I did it again. And I think that it's so powerful to have a circle that can bleed together. And I think that so many of us have been kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, molded by culture, and so you believe the lie that you're supposed to have it all together, or that, your competition sitting next to you, like your Judas is in your inner circle and things like that. And I mean, I can understand to some degree that there are circles like that, but I feel like we have to be intentional about creating God's spaces. And we have to be intentional about building relationships that allow us to be completely ourselves, that allow us to just be open and honest about our pain. I feel like my whole life has always been I don't know. I'm just gonna speak particularly about my walk with Christ because it is the most important thing to me, and I so badly want to get it right. And I know that a lot of you can probably relate to this, but you so badly want to get it right. And by getting it right, I don't mean working for God's love. I don't believe that God can love me anymore or God can be more proud of me at all. So I'm not working for the love of God, but I do believe that I work from the love of God because he loved me first, right? God so loved the world that he gave. And I think that because of my incredible ability to understand the love of God and what he's done in my life, that I just want to please him. Again, not to say that he can be any more pleased with me, but at the end of the day, it's like with any parent-child relationship, right? Like, you know your parents, or healthy ones, excuse me, if you have the pleasure of having, you know, really positive, loving parents, then you can understand that you know they can't love you anymore, but you still want to do your best in life because you want to make them proud. And so since I've had like such an incredible and intimate relationship with God, I have this deep desire to just do right. You know, there's just so much pain that's come out of Christianity and religion that I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be a hypocrite Christian. I don't want to be this way. I don't want to live that way. And I think that having spaces to be able to be broken and be fully yourself and talk through those things, they're so necessary, you know. And I think that that they're needed. So I guess the main thing that I really want to say today is that you need to create a circle and be intentional about having intimacy, not just friendships, but like intimacy. Like people are praying over you, praying with you, supporting you, not competing with you, who aren't going to judge you. Once you said something, they're mature, they know how to communicate, like they're not easily offended, they're working through their mess too. So one, again, that's probably the first reason why I decided to record this video, is because I think we just need to see more positive, godly spaces. And two, for the people who are Christian and trying to just get it right, and by get it right, again, that just means you have this deep desire to just please God and live the way you know that he's called you to live. I would say, and I'm learning to just really seek him first. And I know that can come off like a cliche, but it is true. It is a true practice that you can do. You shouldn't walk into a room and say like, oh no, like I'm saved, I can't drink. I'm saved, I can't do this, I can't do that. Because first of all, it's not appealing to other people for you to be forcing yourself into a certain type of behavior. I think that seeking God means that I'm in my word every day. I'm praying every day. I'm worshiping every day. I have a different level of intimacy with him to where my desires naturally change. So I can go in those spaces and it's not like, oh, no, I can't drink today. But it's just like, man, like, no, thank you. I just don't want to drink. I just don't feel like drinking. And then people are like, oh, really? You don't want to? Like, no, like, it's crazy. Like, I just haven't been wanting to drink lately. And it's just a better conversation to have, because it's not like God is just whipping people into following him and being weird. And, that's not the Christianity that is real. The real Christianity is just like relationship, right? When you spend time with people, you start to become more like them. And the same is true with God. The same is true with Jesus. The more time you spend in your word, the more your life just starts to transform. Your desires start to change. You start to speak different. You start to desire things that you didn't desire before. You have no need to have conversations that you were having a while ago. You seek healthy things. And so secondly, that would just really be it, is just to really seek God. And that means making space for him and being intentional about being in your word, worshiping and praying. I think it's really, really important. And so I can go on and talk for forever, but I'm at 10 minutes now, so I think that's long enough. But for those who are watching this, I really want to encourage you that if you are a believer in Christ Jesus, to find community. And it's so important to have people who accept you for all of your brokenness, who are there to love you through it and to support you and to remind you of who you are and who God's called you to be, not who you think you are in your head, but that speak life over you. And secondly, make time for him and for the intimacy with him so that he can begin to change your heart, create a new heart in you and renew your mind, renew your thinking. Actually, this is one last thing that I do want to add really quick, is that oftentimes God is also going to change you without you even realizing it. So that's also a word of encouragement when you are in your word or when you are praying and when you are worshiping, just to know that you may not see immediate change in yourself. You might not just wake up and be different. You have to work out your salvation. So, you're not going to just wake up completely different. You're not going to feel different. But there'll be situations that pop up in your life and you will be like, oh, wait a second, I didn't respond how I thought I'd respond. Wow. Or you'll be around that person who you really have very low tolerance for and low patience for, and all of a sudden they don't bother you anymore. Perhaps someone will come to you for advice and all of a sudden, like, the wisdom of God would just pour out of your mouth and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? So I want you to be encouraged that in which you diligently seek him, you will find him. Once you're constantly in your word, you're constantly praying, you're constantly worshiping him, that gets into your spirit and it will completely change your life. It'll change your way of thinking. It'll change the way you speak. It will change the way you interact with people. And yeah, you might not see it overnight. You will not see it overnight, but over time, you will absolutely see the changes that God's done in your life. And so be encouraged by this word. Share it with anybody who you feel like needs some confirmation for where they are in this walk, because I know and understand that it can be lonely at times. Because you're Christian, you feel like you have to have it all together all the time. But that's not true, and that is where the importance of community comes in. So, hopefully you guys can find some community. Holler at your girl. Hopefully I'll be able to start a faith-based community online. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about online faith-based communities? Actually, I really like to know your opinion on that. So send me a message and let me know if you made it to the 1320 mark on this video. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.